Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. In today's One Piece Treasure Cruise video we are going to analyze and give a star rating to all of the upcoming units of the new batch for One Piece Treasure Cruise, including Dr. Vegapunk. So without further ado, let's get to it. First, of course, we have to begin with the star of the show, Dr. Vegapunk, who is an int superclass cerebral character. She is also a shooter that has a final tap ability. She actually has great limit break abilities, which is awesome, and her final tap is amazing for full cerebral teams, which is mainly the team compositions we are going to see her in anyway. As a support, she can be attached to int cerebral characters fitting of her theme, and she can actually remove one turn of attack down, give an ore boost to int cerebral characters for 1.75 times, and she can also provide the unit she is attached to with an int slot. Let's talk about the main stuff though, and let me summarize Dr. Vegapunk in a simple phrase. Bonney tried to make her as unique as they did V1 Uta, but they did not want her to be as broken because she's not a Super Sugofest legend. What does that mean? Well, essentially, she does not provide utility from her captain ability, she does from her special, which is definitely less broken, but the combination of utility is crazy good. It is Despair and Attack Down, and 6 turns of removal as well. From her captain ability, we see something very basic. She boosts in cerebral shooters with a very good attack boost and HP boost. Under specific circumstances, she can provide end of turn damage, so she has some utility, but nothing crazy, and she can also increase applied attack boosts by plus 0.25. That synergizes extremely well with her overall design, but still a straightforward and pretty basic captain ability compared to other stuff we have seen from Legends. Is that a bad thing though? Definitely not, in my opinion. Now let's get to the nitty gritty and what is unique about her. The stackable attack boosts. If our captain is cerebral and we already have an attack boost in our crew, if Vegapunk can reduce that attack boost by 1, and if it doesn't drop under the value of 1, then it becomes a stackable attack boost, and we can stack multiple attack boosts on that one from different specials or abilities in general to increase it. So for example, if we have an attack boost for 1.75 times of a multiplier, Dr. Vegapunk cannot reduce it by 1, and that attack boost still has a value of 1 or higher because it goes to 0.75 times, so the effect does not happen. Now if we have an attack boost that is 2.5 times, with the 1 reduction it will go to 1.5 times, still a higher value than 1, and then we can start stacking different attack boosts on that one to increase the value. That is essentially how she works. We don't know if there is a limit, it's not mentioned in the special, to how many attack boosts we can stack, so I'm guessing there is actually no limit. We can stack as many as we can and as many as we want in a specific quest. Another thing is that the attack boost changes from technically an attack boost to a stackable attack boost buff, so it is not anymore extendable with specific specials. For example, the new rare recruit Kinemon from the New Year Super Sugo can increase existing attack boosts by 2 turns. Kinemon's effect would not work on a stackable attack boost. Something that is not specified and I am not certain about is if the stackable attack boost essentially is universal as a buff, but can contain attack boosts with different properties in it. So for example, an attack boost for cerebrals, an attack boost for fighters, for psi characters, int characters, and so on and so forth. And I think that is the case, because if all of a sudden we can add every attack boost together, stack them and make them universal, it would be pretty insane. So I am guessing every attack boost from now onwards, after you get the stackable attack boost buff, can just be stored in the stackable attack boost buff and applied to the crew. Extremely unique effect with extremely high potential. Just from her superclass, if we can get access to it with 6 int characters or 6 cerebral characters in the crew, we can get 2 attack boosts for int and cerebral units. One for 2.75 times and one for 2.5 times. So just from her superclass, you can approximately get an attack boost for int and cerebral for 7 times. probably closer to 6.8 times, but you get the point. Also from her superclass, she can manipulate all slots, even block ones, into int, which is extremely good for full int teams. Or generally for teams, I guess, that can make these slots count as matching. By the way, her special has more in it. She can remove 6 turns of attack down and despair. She can deal end of turn damage for 3 turns. So as far as utility goes, she can deal with attack down, despair and resilience. She can actually even provide an ore boost for int, cerebral and shooter units for 2 turns as well. So it is great to survive through intimidation debuffs. And if you already have an ore boost, she can increase it by plus 0.5. Without a doubt, a strong unit with future potential as well, and maybe she will also have great future synergy with other Vegapunks. But the reason I am not going to give her 5 out of 5 stars is because first of all, she is very int and cerebral centric, so outside of those two I am not so certain how well we can use the stackable attack boost. And 2, even though the stackable attack boost is a great new buff and a fun addition to the game, I am not certain if in specific scenarios you would prefer building around that to get the unique buff and multiple attack boosts over just getting an attack boost, an ore boost, a color affinity boost, a conditional attack boost and all of the other unique buffs we actually right now have in the game. For quests that are not named Super Boss, it might actually just be overkill, just like we have seen with Demon Robin and Olin's unique effects. I will give this unit a rating of 4 out of 5 stars. Moving on to Legend Bonney, she will be a super type legend and once again she will have final tap. She is int, fighter and free spirit, and she is another normal legend just like Vegapunk, and in my opinion these two are an amazing addition to the normal legend pool. Her final tap limit break ability is nothing crazy, I guess it's okay, but since we have a Bonney unit here, she can play very well with RCV slots. From her captain ability, she boosts Psi, int and fighters with a very good HP boost and attack boost. She of course makes RCV slots matching. If you hit a perfect, you can consume an RCV slot, and tapping on this character with an RCV slot applies weakened status to the enemies, which means Bonney can apply increased damage taken to the enemies through immunity, just with her attack. So no interruption can be applied or anything like that, very similarly to Super Tandem Kaido, who can essentially do the same thing with a Wano slot. For her special, she has very good utility to remove 7 turns of bind and paralysis, but if she's captain she cannot resist bind from her captain ability, have that in mind. Then she provides healing and can lock the crew slots, which is pretty good, and she boosts damage dealt to increase damage taken / weakened enemies for 3 turns. So if she is captain, she can actually use the conditional attack boost in 2 different stages, which is definitely very strong. She can also drop resistances by 50% for Psi and int characters if she is captain, and if she is a crewmate, she does apply weakened status, but this time it does not go through immunity. From her super type, where straw hats are present in the requirements for her to access it, which is very good, she can manipulate all slots into RCV, even block slots. She changes the multiplier of RCV slots to 2.75 times, which makes them extremely strong to attack with. And once again, she applies increased damage taken to the enemy, but it doesn't go through immunity. So if you want to ignore immunity, you have to have her as captain and attack with her with an RCV slot. Definitely a disadvantage here. She can also help you actually remove 1 turn of bind and paralysis and give you a conditional attack boost from her support, which is decent. And I would say this unit is definitely good. I think she's actually the only unit in the game that can provide a conditional attack boost versus increased damage taken applied enemies for 3 turns. And one of the very few that can in general provide this conditional attack boost. A strong character can be a very good captain, and I also like the fact that even though she's super type int, she doesn't only focus on int units, because she drops resistances for Psi units as well, she boosts Psi units and even fighter units, and the conditional attack boost is universal. She is not only int specific and can provide unique damage boosting to our team alongside good utility, so I will give this unit 4 out of 5 stars. Chopper will be a rare recruit featured with these 2 new legends in the new batch. He can actually remove 1 turn of the enemy barrier, 5 turns of special bind and burn. He can actually resist special bind for 6 turns with his sailor ability, give end of turn healing, and then a chain boost. The lowest one is plus 1.1, the maximum at 1.3 depending on your healing, which is a very good chain boost. But unfortunately his removal is only for 5 turns, not 6, and the combination of burn and special bind is not amazing. I think I would give this chopper 3 out of 5 stars. Jinbe will be the free-to-play Pirate King Adventures unit of this month. He is actually a super tandem unit, and he is a pretty strong free-to-play unit as well. He can reduce 5 turns of defense up and 5 turns of attack down, a very good combination. He can change the left column slots to int, so some slight slot manipulation as well. And on top of that, he can drop resistances for psi and int attacks by 20%, and if Luffy is in the crew or attached as support on him, he makes his slot TND and locks it. Because from one of his 2 sailor abilities, he can make his tandem slot matching. That means you can place him in the right column for him to have a matching slot, and your left column units to still get the int slot. Being able to guarantee himself a tandem slot is also great. That can give him access to his super tandem ability, where he can give a tandem attack boost of 1.5 times to int and psi characters, but more importantly, if he has a tandem slot and he hits a perfect, with his sailor ability, if your captain is also a fighter, he can reduce 1 turn of defense up, something we have never seen from a sailor ability before. Yes, it does have specific requirements, but in total, with his special and sailor ability, in 1 turn he can remove 6 turns of defense up, which is very good. But even before his special activation, if we can provide him with a tandem slot, or after his special we can maintain his slot, then he can remove extra turns of defense up in different stages if we need him to. Very strong for a free-to-play unit, especially for a member of the Straw Hats in Jinbe, and I would definitely advise all of you to farm him in these Pirate King Adventures. I will give him a rating of 4 out of 5 stars. Usopp and Franky are the second rare recruit from the batch alongside Chopper, and essentially they can provide damage and damage reduction. So depending on your HP, they can give you either 2 turns of a 70% damage reduction shield, or 1 turn. They can reduce all enemies' damage nullification, provide a base attack boost for psi, int and shooter characters, and they can also provide an attack boost for 2.25 times or 2 times, depending on your HP, once again. To be honest, I am not a big fan of HP requirement specials, and they do lack utility, especially for an Usopp and Franky unit. From one of their crewmate abilities, they cannot be blown away, which is cool, but they still do lack utility. Something that definitely does help them is that they provide a base attack boost for psi and int characters, not an attack boost and a color affinity boost, for example, so it is unique boosting. But the lack on utility on this unit will make me give them a rating of 2 out of 5 stars. And the final unit from the Egghead introduction for One Piece Treasure Cruise will be free-to-play login bonus EX Super Luffy. You should definitely max this Luffy out, by the way. You get him just by logging into the game every day for the next like 2 weeks or something. He is an int Luffy, which is cool because we don't have a lot available in the game. He has the Hunger Removal Limit Break ability, which is awesome. You should definitely max that out with free copies of him. His support is just a simple base stat boosting support, nothing crazy, but can also be decent for free-to-play or new players. His captain ability is definitely acceptable for a free-to-play Luffy because he can boost int and psi characters with decent free-to-play captain attack and HP boosting multipliers, but he can also make int and RCV slots matching for everyone, and he also has a unique little thing in his captain ability where he can increase color affinity boosts if you tap on this character with an RCV slot. Nothing insane, obviously, just an extra touch for his captain ability to not just be super free-to-play Luffy basic. I think his special is actually pretty interesting because he can provide a color affinity boost as a Luffy for int and psi characters with a pretty good multiplier as well. And then, if you have 2 or more characters with an RCV slot, then he can reduce 6 turns of damage reduction, 5 turns if you don't. And if you have 2 or more characters with an int slot, he can remove 6 turns of threshold, 5 turns if you don't. So still, at minimum, he can remove 5 turns of damage reduction and threshold, which can be a very strong combination of utility for a Luffy unit. Generally speaking, I don't think it will be really easy to get int and RCV slots as a combination for him to remove 6 and 6 turns of the defensive effects, but 5 and 5 is still pretty decent. Then I would say his EX Super I am not too happy with because he needs 4 of the listed characters for him to activate it. Kind of a lot. I know majority of them are Straw Hats, but still. And then if you manage to activate it, he can make all of your slots, including block ones, RCV, and increase the damage output of RCV slots to a decent amount, and actually make both Psi and Int characters into Super type. He's of course designed to use with the new Pirate King Adventures Jinbe, because from Luffy's EX Super we get a full board of RCV slots. Then we activate Jinbe to make the left column slots into Int, and his own slot into TND. Meaning now we have at least 2 int slots and at least 2 RCV slots, while we also have Super Tandem because of Jinbe's TND slot. If we activate Luffy's special after that, we actually remove, in total with Jinbe and Luffy's abilities, 6 turns of defense up, 6 turns of threshold, 6 turns of damage reduction, 5 turns of attack down. We have a full board of guaranteed matching slots, Super Typing, Super Tandem, and a color affinity boost, which we can increase if Luffy is in the captain position. That's a pretty good free-to-play combo if you ask me. The main issue will probably be to get access to Luffy's EX Super. Fun fact, without including super specials, he is the only Luffy in the entire game that can at least remove 5 turns of threshold and damage reduction combined, and he is 100% free, so you should definitely max him out and have him in your box if you ever need him. For a free-to-play unit, I think I will give him a rating of 4 out of 5 stars. And these are all of my ratings for the upcoming batch units. Tell me in the comments down below, what do you think about them? Do you like them? Do you have a favorite? And which one? Let me know, and if you enjoyed the video, definitely leave a like, I would really appreciate it. As always, thank you so much for watching, take care, and I'll see you in the next one.